Hello and welcome to the News Button. In today's edition of News Button, we shall discuss about an occasion when China was on the verge of a nuclear strike by the US. Friends, it was on 6th August 1945, the US turned the world by dropping the first atom bomb on Japan to force an unconditional Japanese surrender in the Second World War. As the world held its breath, the second bomb was unleashed on the second Japanese city. Nuclear weapon was used as an overwhelming and overpowering force to secure an early end to the bloody war that had ravaged the world. Well, Japan clearly was not the only country from Asia to be on the US nuclear radar. There had been occasions when the US was on the verge of pressing the nuclear button to protect its allies and interests overseas. And the target for the US nuclear strike was none other than a country that is now bullying its neighbors every other day. Bullying its neighbors for land grabbing, redrawing fictitious boundary lines to justify its ever-expanding claims. Well, it's not at all hard to guess which country we are hinting at. According to leaked top-secret classified documents, the US in 1958 had toyed with the idea of launching a nuclear strike on mainland China to protect Taiwan, a territory Beijing claims as its own. The classified documents have been posted online by Dr. Daniel Ellsberg, known for his 1971 leak of Pentagon Papers on the Vietnam War. The former US military analyst and political activist revealed to the media that he had copied the top secret study about the Taiwan Strait crisis almost 50 years ago, but did not disclose it then, and that he is now highlighting it amid new tensions between the United States and China over Taiwan. The news might have sent shockwaves inside China's defense establishments and corridors of power. Of course, today's China is much different from the non-nuclear fledgling communist power of the 50s. Still, it will make the Chinese shudder next time when they will think of violating the Taiwanese airspace or moot an outright invasion of Taiwan. Leaving aside the high drama concerning the political fate of Hong Kong, if any issue that is most likely trigger a direct clash between Chinese and the US, it has to be the question of Taiwan. The self-rolled island's uncertain future amidst great power rivalry is the greatest unresolved legacy of the Chinese Civil War. And even now, Beijing views at a possible merger of Taiwan with the Chinese mainland as an unfinished agenda, quote unquote. After the victory of the communists in the Civil War, the US was fearing an invasion of Taiwan by the communist forces. To nullify the communist invasion of Taiwan, the US had pushed for nuclear strikes against mainland China. This information is part of a top secret paper on the crisis which brewed in 1958, a portion of which had already been declassified in 1975. The US sensed that such an attack may invite a similar retaliation by the Soviet Union, which will come to the aid of communist China with its own set of nuclear strikes, says the report, which has now been made public by Ellsberg. What necessitated a deadly military step like a nuclear strike by the US? Well, in 1958, China was selling the islands of Kinmen and the Matsu along the east coast of mainland China to liberate Taiwan, quote unquote, where the nationalist Kuomintang members had taken shelter after fleeing from mainland China. Initially, the then US President Dwight Eisenhower decided in favor of a conventional military strike. However, the option of nuclear strikes deep into China, as far as north of Shanghai, quote unquote, was not ruled out either. The Taiwan crisis finally came to an end with the communist forces seizing artillery fires on the islands, leaving the area under the control of nationalist forces under Chiang Kai-Shek. Let it be mentioned here that the US continued to recognize Taiwan as the Chinese Republic until 1979, when the US officially recognized Beijing after President Ronald Reagan's historic visit to China. 53 years down the road, US-China tensions are again spiking over Taiwan. China is hell-bent on Taiwan, which continues to ward off all Chinese attempts at reunification. And the US is duty-bound to provide protection to Taiwan's sovereignty, vibrant democracy, and thriving economy. Failure to do so will be a huge strategic retreat of the US as the net guarantor of security in the Indo-Pacific region, and probably its tacit acknowledgement of China as the new boss of the greater Asian region. Perfectly timing his revelation, Ellsberg says, as the possibility of another nuclear crisis over Taiwan is being bandied about this very year, it seems very timely to me to encourage the public, Congress, and the executive branch to pay attention to what I make available to them. After the difficult Trump years, when Beijing was probably heaving a sigh of relief from President Trump losing the elections, the Biden administration is expected to pronounce the US strategy on China. In the face of an ever-belligerent China, White House may be forced to make a clear public announcement of militarily protecting Taiwan. Hope you liked the conversation. If you have any queries, please leave your comments in the comment section. We shall be happy to note and revert. And before leaving, do not forget to like and subscribe to our channel so that we shall be able to send you live updates from us. Thanks for watching. Thanks again